Hey guys, how is everybody doing? And welcome back to my James Bond review series with the third film of the Sean Connery franchise, Goldfinger. Now, if you have not seen my other two reviews of Sean Connery's James Bond movies with Dr. No and From Russia with Love, please do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch those. I'll have a card at the very end of the video so you can watch both of them with the playlist I have created, or I'll have index cards somewhere up here at the top of the video for you to watch. So, if you have been following me on this journey for the last 3.5 days, I have been very honest when I come to these movies, and I have been honest saying that I don't really care about Sean Connery's James Bond. The first two that I have seen, I did not care for. I thought they were very dated, and they simply were not for me. However, this one won me over a little bit. So, with that in mind, starting off with my positives on Goldfinger, and my first positive of this movie is the villain himself, Goldfinger. Now, admittedly, I don't think that he's a fantastic villain by any means. I don't think like, oh, he's one of the best movie villains ever or one of the best James Bond villains out there. I don't think that necessarily. What I liked about this villain is that he actually kind of got under James Bond's skin. This was a person that James Bond really hated and really did not like, and he's like kind of forced to spend time with him, like going out golfing or I don't know, going on walks with him, whatever the hell he did in this movie besides play golf with him. There's other stuff he did with him, but I can't really remember. However, this was a villain that I actually really enjoyed. His personality was fun. Like whenever he was on screen, he was an intriguing and fun villain. Like obviously, none of these villains should be taken seriously because these movies are kind of more goofy than other James Bond movies. But this was a villain that I really enjoyed. This was a villain that I actually really liked watching throughout the whole movie. And the other two movies, I couldn't really tell you anything about them. But with this guy, I actually really enjoyed, and I thought that he was a solid villain. But besides that one little moment where he turns that girl into gold and kills her or whatever, he doesn't do that throughout the whole movie, which I was kind of disappointed by because that's what his whole character kind of is or whatever. Kind of like that one guy though where no matter what he touches it turns to gold. I forget his name, but I kind of expected it to be like that for some reason. But other than that, I really did think this was a fun villain. It's not like a mind-blowing villain or I don't like an amazing villain, which none of these villains really are, but compared to the other two, I really enjoyed them. And we got really small little snippets in this in the other two with I think his name is Q. Yeah, M is the main guy. Q is the guy that makes the gadgets. We get little snippets of Q in the other movies where we don't really have a whole conversation with him. We only have like small little roles with him. Like he has a small little role in the other two, and we only have like small little interactions with him. And, they're just like little brief things like in the last one where he shows off the briefcase or whatever. But I really enjoyed how they showed off more of the gadgets and how they're made in this movie. Now, it's for like a small, like 6-minute scene maybe, but it was a scene that I really enjoyed because James Bond has always been known for his cool gadgets and futuristic like gadgets that no other spy really has or anything like that. But he's always kind of been known for that, and to have it to be like throwaway scenes in the other two is really disappointing. But in this movie, they actually show them off and actually show you know the lab that they're created in, all the people behind making these things, and the cool gadget that James Bond gets in this movie is a cool car. Because in all these movies, he seems to get a certain new gadget, a new fun gadget. And Doctor No, it's literally just a new fucking gun. That's literally all it is. And then From Russia with Love, it's this briefcase with a bunch of shit in it, which a lot of it goes nowhere. And then in this movie, it's just a badass car, and it's a pretty fucking cool car if you ask me. But I really like that. It was really cool to see that to actually see James Bond with his gadgets since he's really well known for that. So it was really cool to dive into that in this one. And an improvement that this movie has over the other two is that the action is surprisingly actually good. Now, I talked about it in the other two that I do think that the action in the other two aren't very good. They're dated, they're boring, they're just little pea shooter like scenes. But in this movie, they reduce to car chasing, which seems to kind of be the main theme of this movie is cars because of James Bond's new car. But there's like a cool little cool sequences where there's cool high speed car chases and cool action sequences, and even kind of towards the end on the plane or whatever, there's actually a lot of good action sequences that are pretty entertaining and actually kind of age well. Like with the car chases, sure, you can tell, obviously, you can tell that it's a projector behind them. But the sequences themselves, they were actually pretty good. I will say, however, that the fight sequences are not very good. They're not, especially compared to today. The choreographing is not very good. There's literally towards the end when James is fighting, whatever, what's his name? Odd Job. Uh, there's that whole fight sequence. There's no music. It's just the sounds of them grunting and absolute silence. Literally the only noises you hear is the grunting and the ticking of the bomb towards the end of this movie. That is literally all you hear during this fight sequence, and it is so fucking awkward.
Good show, old chap. Well played.
I was literally watching. I'm like, this is so weird watching this because there's literally no music, no noise, literally, excuse me, literally nothing. It's fucking weird watching this. But outside of the fight sequences, other than that, the action is actually surprisingly pretty good in this movie. But now moving on to my mixed aspects. My one mixed aspect is actually kind of funny. The henchman or the side villain, which is the kind of the sidekick for Goldfinger, Odd Job. I can't take this motherfucker seriously after watching Austin Powers. Keep in mind, I watched Austin Powers way before James Bond. I had no idea that the characters that they were making fun of were real villains. Like Dr. Evil, I had no idea that Donald Pleasance played a real version of that character. I had no idea for the longest time. And I did find out that the hat guy was based off a villain in James Bond, which one I had not known. And then I found out. And I could not take this motherfucker seriously because all I could picture was the dude from Austin Powers, and I could just picture the scene where he's just throwing the shoe at Austin Powers.
Oh, that really hurt. I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot. Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
That's all I could literally think about when I was watching this guy. Now, it's not the movie's fault. That's why it's in my mix. I can't blame the character or the actor at all because it was my own stupidity for watching Austin Powers first. So, my bad. But when you watch Austin Powers and you see that guy, and then you watch James Bond years later and you see the villain that he's a parody of, I couldn't take him seriously. But now moving on to my negatives. And this has been a reoccurring thing every time I talk about these movies. But however, the effects in this movie do not age well at all. Literally in the beginning of the fucking film, there's a there's a part where James is like using a hook shot. He shoots it, and you can literally see someone throw a fucking rope that makes it look like it's a hook shot. That is literally how bad it got. And I talked about the projector thing, and there's the point where we see the girl that's covered in gold, and you can just clearly tell that it's just gold makeup and a bodysuit that she's wearing. But other than that, once again, the effects in this movie just don't age well. There's also a moment where you can clearly tell it's CGI, where James Bond, I can't even remember the reason why, he gets out like this a hook like thing out of his tire to pop the tire of the girl that he ends up falling in love with, the new love interest of this movie. He pops her tire, and you can literally tell that right behind the fucking thing is a green screen as it's moving. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh dear lord. The effects in this movie just don't age well. And I know I keep talking about it every time I discuss these movies, but it's kind of hard not to when every fucking movie it seems to get worse somehow. And my last negative, and this is going to be a little confusing, I like the villain of Goldfinger in this movie. I already talked about that, but I don't like the actor they chose. The actor that they chose, I feel like was a miscast, and he doesn't really embody for what this character should be because they make him more of a comedic idiot. Now, thankfully, it's not throughout the whole movie. There are moments where he's a genuine threat, thankfully, but however, there are moments where he's kind of too goofy, and it's kind of hard to take seriously of this big fat dude that's playing this villain. And this is gonna sound terrible, but the actor looks like a pedophile, and it's so hard to watch a villain who's kind of entertaining. It's kind of hard not to watch him and think that he looks like a pedophile because I was watching the movie and I'm like, this dude had to have touched kids. I'm sorry. I know that sounds weird and I know that's fucked up to say, but I swear to God, this motherfucker had to be touching kids at the time. But whatever. I'm not gonna. I don't think he. Hopefully he didn't. I don't know anything about the actor, but I feel like the actor, the physical presence of him does not speak to me. That doesn't look like the Goldfinger character that this should be. Should have gone be like this tall, like scientist looking dude. You could have gotten Hugh Lowry. He wasn't even born yet. But overall, guys, I actually really enjoyed Goldfinger. I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. I didn't love it by any means. I do think that it is an improvement from the last two, but yet again, that's not really saying much. However, out of the three that I have watched, I do think that Goldfinger was an improvement, and I definitely enjoyed it. So, if you were like me and you didn't like the other two, at least give Goldfinger a shot, and if you don't like it, then maybe don't watch the other ones. I haven't even watched the other ones yet, but I actually really enjoyed. I actually really enjoyed Goldfinger, so I definitely think that it's worth a watch. So, what do you guys think about Goldfinger? Have you seen it? What do you think about it? Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Do you prefer one of the other ones, or do you actually prefer this one over the other ones? Let me know in the comments below, and we shall talk about it. And if you like this video, like it. If you love to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you will get notified for all of my latest videos. And of course, until my next video, I'll see you all next time.